Hey, yeah, oh, 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 yeah.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, as far as news-wise goes, we're just getting the same junk we always get. However, Jack Smith, Fani Willis, DOJ, Derek Garland, a bunch of these Democratic judges or whatever that's trying to go after Trump, they're all in hot water. Like all their dirty laundry's coming out. Apparently Fani Willis, and she's trying to appoint her, her boyfriend as special prosecutor or whatever. Apparently they've been like in deep shit fraud over stealing a bunch of money from the state coffers. So they're in real hot water. And then Merrick Garland, the head of DOJ or whatever, he's been in bed with, not necessarily in bed, but he's been, him and there's a couple of female Democratic judges that they're all going after Trump with him. And apparently they've done some criminal crap and they're in trouble. And then, of course, Jack Smith, he's in some big serious trouble too. Apparently he's been doing some shady crap and they've caught him on it. And now he's trying to backpedal. Dude, all these motherfucker Democrats are fucking corrupt as fuck. I'm not saying all Republicans are any better, but every single one of these Democrats are literally corrupt. They're terrible. Anyways, that's all the big news that's going on. They're in some hot ass water. What I want to talk to you about this week is, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I have a kind of a little, it's a cheesy secret fetish that I have, where when it comes to dating shows, I like to watch like the first episode or two, just because I like to see what some of the, and I'm talking about, like The Bachelor or something. I like seeing what these ignorant women will do to try to make a first impression, whatever you want to call it. They pull out some hellacious stuff. However, just about every country has their own version of like The Bachelor. And I was watching Australia's version, their newest ones, and because I missed like season 6 or something. I think they're on season 7 or whatever. Anyways, I went back and watched the first episode of season 6. I ended up watching like 2 or 3 episodes of the show. I normally don't ever watch the entire season. I just watch the first couple of episodes. And this one Bachelor, they did something new. They had 3 bachelors and then brought in a whole bunch of women for the bachelors to choose from. Now, I liked how they started off because the bachelors went on several dates and then chose which women they wanted at the bachelor pad or whatever that they could pursue. I thought that was actually a pretty cool idea. But then when they got to season 7, they just basically went back to the old way. But they kept the 3 bachelors. They just let the producers or the people on the show pick their women. I think that's stupid. Let the bachelor pick the women, not the producers or the show. I don't care. Oh, we gotta vet them, blah, blah, blah. Fuck off. Anyways, the reason I bring this up is because it was insane. There was one bachelor, and he was a big dude. You would not think he would be into this. But there was a woman, and she was good looking, but she was already in a relationship. She had a boyfriend who she's been in a relationship for years and years. And she went on, if you're going to go on a show like this, you need to be properly single. But they ran with it like a polyamorous relationship. You know, he was just like, instead of just dropping her right off the bat, he gave it some thought because she was really good looking. I was like, fuck that. If you're not single, fuck off. Kick rocks. It was just insane. I had to watch 2 or 3 episodes because I was like, you can't be. And he met the boyfriend, and they were like not getting along because his boyfriend had no balls. This chick had both their balls. It was ridiculous. She's acting like she was little Miss Innocent, and she was just exploring her sexuality and femininity and blah, blah, blah. She wanted her cake and to eat it too. And they were letting her do it, these simps. Oh my gosh, Australia. You know, I don't know about some of the Australian men, but the ones that go on this show, The Bachelor, they are simps. Straight up. The way they dress, the way they talk, the way they act, simps. Australia, do something about your men. For real. Make them more masculine again. I wouldn't think of that from an Aussie. When I picture an Aussie, I think of a burly man, you know, outdoor, rugged, Crocodile Dundee shit. But no, these guys are straight up simps. They have let feminism rule them for far too long. It's just insane. It's one, besides the UK, Australia's fallen to the left to feminism and shit. Oh my God. Anyways, it was just crazy. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. It's just, wow. You are not a man. Anyways, moving on. The show I really want to talk about is this show called Life. I think it was like in 2012 or some shit like that. Only had 2 seasons. It's, you know, crime, supposed to be comedy, crime detective show. You know, I miss shows like The Monk and The Mentalist, Lie to Me, you know, Perception, shit like that. Those are all good crime shows, you know, because the main character, he's funny. But anyways, I thought I'd give this show a shot. I'd never heard of it. It probably because it only had 2 seasons. The main character in it, the red-headed dude, it's supposed to be, he gets framed for murder, and he goes to jail for a number of years, and then he gets out because they find out with DNA testing that he was not the murderer. He kind of gets a different type of mentality. He's still a cop, but at the same time, he's been in that criminal world in the prison for so long. He's got that type of mentality mixed in now. Right off the bat, I almost didn't watch this show because you could blatantly see the toxic feminism in this show. When he first shows up, you have this little black-haired girl. I don't know, she was like Hispanic or some shit. And she was acting like, oh, I'm Miss Boss Bitch, and you will do whatever I tell you to do. I don't care if I'm only 5 foot tall and you're 6'5", because he was a tall dude. And she was itty bitty. Like weighed 120 pounds. But yeah, she's Miss Badass. And then, now, granted, she's a good looking chick, but her attitude just made her awful, just disgusting to me. And then his lieutenant, or captain, whatever she is, she's out to get him, going behind his back, trying to get him kicked off the force. Because he literally goes back to the same police station where he knows there's cops that set his ass up. She's out to get him for some reason. I don't think she was involved in the initial setup. She's being pressured to try to pin something on him from her higher ups. But yeah, she's a same way. She Miss Boss Bitch Babe mentality. I'm gonna stick my foot up your ass and you're gonna like it and do what I tell you to do. Fuck off with that feminism crap. That's why I literally almost didn't watch the show. I got like 2 or 3 episodes in there and I was like, man, I don't know if I want to watch this show. This is really bad with the toxic feminism. But I stuck it out. Now the first season is just, it's kind of wanky. It's okay. I was kind of curious to find out who set them up, because that's the only part that really kept me interested, as I want to know who screwed this dude over. Like, he's got to be pissed as a mother. Now he gets a huge settlement, millions of dollars, for being wrongfully convicted, but he was in there like 10 years. Like, come on. And it was like one of his best friends. I don't think it was his partner. I think it was somebody else. It was that person's family that got killed, and they pinned it on him. However, he finds out that one of the kids, this little girl, she got out. She escaped. But she had help. He later finds her, tries to help her out. And it takes a long time for her to be convinced that he didn't have anything to do with her family being murdered. Now, he's supposed to be funny, but honestly, I just didn't find him funny. I mean, it was like really dry humor. It wasn't funny. He was trying to be sarcastic and shit all the time. But he didn't come off funny. It almost came off kind of rude. But anyways, once they jumped to the second season, it was actually pretty good. I liked the second season. I like the guy, the actor who came in to play the captain. Like, they got rid of that lieutenant boss bitch, and they brought in the guy from Gotham, who played, you know, the bad cop or whatever in Gotham, the television series. They brung that dude in. I like him. You also see him in Blade, the first Blade. He's one of the henchmen. He got his arm cut off, blah blah. That dude. He's pretty good actor. I like him. Anyways, he came in as the captain or new lieutenant or whatever for the second season, and things got way better because the little brunette main character of the show, besides the main guy, his partner or whatever, she toned it down. She stopped being like this feminist bitch, and she became more mellowed out, and you know, started listening to the men. So she became a lot cooler after that. You know, like I said, she mellowed out with all that feminism crap. Whoever was writing the first season was an idiot or a dummy. But anyways, yeah, the second season's really good. He finds out a lot more who set him up or whatever. I did like the way they rushed the ending though, to like put it all together. You know, it really left a lot of unanswered questions. And the show had potential to go on for more, but it is what it is. It was an okay show. Check it out if you want. The show was called Life, L-I-F-E. Big, tall, red-headed dude. Like I said, he was in prison, got out of prison for a crime he didn't commit, and then, you know, went back to being a cop again. Decent show. Check it out. I give it a thumbs up and thumbs down, because there was some stuff that just wasn't all that great. You have to get past that first season, trust me. Once you get past the first season, it's alright. Second season's way better. So that's it for that. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Okay, Movieholics. This week is Sci-Fi Week. Now, I chose 280 classics to do. They're basically, the first one's got some action and adventure in it, but it's a comedy, sci-fi, and so is the second one. The second one's more sci-fi comedy. The first one I watched was called Innerspace. Now, this is a Steven Spielberg film. It was done in 1987, and it made about 26 million worldwide. Now, this is kind of a hidden gem because I'm surprised that most people have not heard of this movie. I mean, it was such a good movie. It starred Dennis Quaid, Martin Short, and Meg Ryan. Now the story is, it's kind of like similar to the old 60s sci-fi movie called Fantastic Voyage, where they shrink them down, they go inside a human to help them out in like this little submarine. It's similar to that, except for, you know, the story's different. Dennis Quaid plays a kind of like a retired pilot, but he burned his bridges, you know, with the Air Force or whatever. Meg Ryan is like his girlfriend. She's a reporter. And then Martin Short plays this off the hands guy named Jack who works at like a supermarket, whatnot. And he's kind of what do they call it? Chondriac or something like that. I can't think of the name of it. Copyhendriac or whatever. You know, the people who thinks they're sick all the time when they're not. I can't think of the proper way to say that word. But anyways, hypochondriac. That's it. But anyways, he's one of those type of people. He plays that kind of character. Now, apparently there's this lab that invents these two chips. You have to have both of them, not only to shrink something, but also to resize it back to its original size. They're running an experiment to see if they can put a human being into, you know, someone's body that could use kind of like a little sub to help repair whatever problems, like a tumor or some shit like that, you know. So they're running an experiment where Dennis Quaid's character is going to go into this rabbit and fix some benign tumor or some shit. Well, there's this greedy billionaire. He finds out about it, and then he wants the chips so he can sell them on the black market, make buku money. He raids the place. One of the scientists, they already committed the shrinking process, and Dennis Quaid is in his little sub, and he's in you know, a needle, a syringe. One of the scientists grabs him and runs off before the bad guys can get him. So yeah, the scientist, he runs into this wall because he's being chased by the billionaire's evil henchman or hitman guy. A particular one, you know, he has like this cybernetic hand that he can take off and trade out for different kinds of weapons with his hand and crap. But anyways, he just randomly runs into Martin Short and then sticks the needle in him and puts Dennis Quaid into Martin Short. The scientist dies. The hitman or henchman, there's too many people around. He gets pictures of Martin Short and takes him back to the billionaire, greedy billionaire bad guy. Which they later find out who he is, and they start trying to chase him down. At first, Martin Short, Dennis Quaid starts figuring out something went wrong. He has a computer system in his sub, and it tells him he's actually in a man and instead of a rabbit. So he knows something happened. He figures out a way to see through Martin Short and like these little electrodes he attaches to his eyeball, inner eye, and he attaches one to his inner ear so he could hear him. He starts trying to talk to him through his radio. Martin Short don't believe him at first, but later on he eventually convinces him that something else is going on. He gets to the lab. Things aren't as great as they think they are when they get to the lab. They find out he only has till like 9 o'clock the next morning before he runs out of air. They got to get him out, but a couple of the people on the main team, they don't care. They just want the chips. But they also know, Dennis Quaid also knows he's got to have that second chip, which the bad guys have, or the bad billionaire dude has, in order to resize himself. So he's got to go after it. They enlist the help of the beautiful Meg Ryan. She doesn't know what's actually going on. She just thinks that Martin Short is a friend of Dennis Quaid. Their characters, not in real life, but because she doesn't believe him at first that he's chasing after this bad guy, but she eventually believes him. He gets kidnapped. She follows him. There's another guy played by Robert Picardo called the Cowboy. He's part of the deal with the chips. He's like the middleman to sell them. They kind of stumble on him. They work on him, take his place to get the chip, but it doesn't work out. They imprison them, and then they figure out a way to escape. But before they do, they put the bad guy in or the henchman, the evil hitman, they put him in a sub to go inside Martin Short and get the second chip from Dennis Quaid. Now the second chip, it's inside Dennis Quaid's sub. And the reason why they're going through all this effort is because it'd take forever, for some reason, odd reason, it would take forever for them to make a second chip. So, and they want it now. So they put the bad guy in his own little special sub into Martin Short to go get the chip out of Dennis Quaid's sub. Thing is at the time they do this, Dennis Quaid is actually not in Martin Short, he's in Meg Ryan. Apparently Meg Ryan and Martin Short had a brief kiss, and it transferred Dennis Quaid into Meg Ryan. Well, they figure this out because Dennis Quaid's playing some type of music, their song, inside of Meg Ryan. So Meg Ryan figures out that he's inside her. So she kisses Martin Short again, transfers Dennis Quaid back into Martin Short, and then Martin Short tells him, hey, there's a bad guy in there, he's going to try to kill you. So they have to duke it out. The bad guy billionaire and his little team, they all get like shrunk to like midgets or little people or dwarves or whatever, and they end up fighting with Meg Ryan and Martin Short. But it doesn't work. The bad guy gets killed. Dennis Quaid fights him. He kills him. They get inside the lab. They finally get to the lab, ditch the midgets, and then resize Dennis Quaid. And that's pretty much just about the end of the movie. They do get Meg Ryan and Dennis Quaid get married, but Martin Short sees that the cowboy takes off with the limousine that they got into and realizes something's going on. So he hops into Dennis's Quaid's car and takes off after him, and that's the end of the movie. This is a really good movie. It wasn't really that funny. It was okay. With Martin Short, you're kind of like this. Sometimes he's funny, sometimes he's not. But the movie was alright. It wasn't bad. I liked it. It's a decent, good flick. I think they could have done more, but whatever. It is what it is. 2 thumbs up. Check it out. It's a really good movie. Hidden gem. I've seen that a lot with Dennis Quaid movies. Like, I think Dennis Quaid is a really good actor. But he does like these really great movies. And then they become underrated. Like, they're not really well known. And it's just crazy. Because he's a talented actor. And he's done a lot of good stuff. Anyways, moving on to the next one. The next one I watched was done in 1982. And it made about 60 million worldwide. Now, this was basically a sci-fi comedy. No action adventure or anything like that. Just comedy sci-fi. It involved around a bunch of high school kids. It's called Zapped. Now, apparently there's a sequel to this, which I didn't know about. You know, I saw this movie way when it first came out, years and years ago. But I never knew they made a sequel to it. I may get around to that at some point in time. I don't know. We'll see. This starred Scott Baio, Felice Schachter, Willie Ames, and the beautiful Heather Thomas. Basically, Scott Baio he's kind of like this nerd, scientist nerd geek. His buddy Willie Ames, he plays a character that's he's always getting into some kind of trouble or something, kind of like a almost a high school jock, but not quite. He's not a jock. He just, he's a rich kid. But he's all, kind of playboy kind of dude. Anyways, he's messing around with some mice of his, Scott Baio is, and he accidentally runs into a beaker that he smashes, which had a mixture of a couple of things in it from his coach. His coach came into the room trying to find some alcohol or something he had hidden in there, and he spilled a couple of things together in a beaker, and Scott Baio was messing with it, and then it fell and it exploded and caused him to have telekinesis. And throughout the rest of the movie, he's using his telekinesis to mess with people and cause all kinds of problems. I don't know how many times, to a lot of the women or girls he would like unbutton their bra or something, you know. Yeah, you got a lot of titty flashing in this movie, guys. But he did that many a times in the movie. Did a lot of titty flashing crap. You can't get away with that kind of crap today. They'd throw a fit with this type of comedy, you know, if it had any nudity in it. But anyways, yeah, he does that. Hey, he messes with his telekinesis on. There's some bullies. He messes with them. They try to pick on him, but he doesn't do anything that's like would put it in the horror genre. Like, he doesn't seriously hurt him or anything like that. You know, just goofy stuff. Pull down their pants, that kind of stuff. Strips them. You know, that's silly nonsense. Nothing major. Tosses them around a little bit, you know, but nothing that's really going to hurt him. Anyways, he kind of, him and this other chick that's annoying and constantly bothering him. She's really clingy. They kind of end up getting together throughout the movie. His buddy, the rich kid, you know, he causes all kinds of mayhem. But in the end, he tells everybody he lost his powers. He can't do anything anymore. The only one he doesn't keep, but in reality, you know, he hits his head. He tells everybody he must have lost his powers. But in reality, he still has them. He's just keeping them to himself. He does reveal that he still has his powers at the end of the movie to his new girlfriend. I wouldn't have. I would have kept the secret from her too. Because she was like wanting to use him for all this experimental shit for research. I would have kept my mouth shut about it to her too. But anyways, he does reveal he still has powers to her at the very end of the movie. And that's it. It's just her and him that know about it. That's the end of the movie. It was okay. Like I said, this is supposed to be a straight up over-the-top sci-fi, but I didn't find it really all that funny. There were a couple scenes that might gave me a chuckle, but most of it wasn't really that funny. Did get to see a lot of titties in this movie though. I guess that was supposed to be the funny stuff. Him constantly stripping people, you know, showing their underwear and then the women's titties, you know. But whatever. It was decent though for an 80s comedy though. It wasn't bad. I didn't think it was all that funny. It's definitely a one-time watch. It's a good movie. Decent. Check it out. 2 thumbs up. Worth a good watch if you've never seen it. And that would be all I have for you this week. If you can think of anything, like if you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you could think of any underrated gems, movies, you know, just about any genre that you think I may never have seen or heard of, that a lot of people probably haven't, leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.